Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Hope you're all having a fantastic summer. Today, we're gonna talk about some Star Wars gaming news and statements, I guess we could say. We all know the current state of Star Wars games. It's a little bit slow right now, but there are a lot of interesting games on the works in different type of game genres and such. But there is still the big thing missing, a multiplayer live service game, or just a multiplayer game overall, to be honest. And with the 7 or 8 announced games right now, pretty much none of them seems to have multiplayer. It's all about story and single player, which, don't get me wrong, is phenomenal. I love Jedi Survivor, but it's always the kind of game that you wait for many years, you hop onto it, you have a lot of fun for a week or two, and then you're kind of done with it. It's not the kind of thing you will continuously be playing for months or years. And we see how well other games do with live service, both for the actual companies making bank and, frankly, the player base often being very happy, even if finding that balance line between fair live service and something that still makes the money can be quite tricky, and sometimes companies overstep and get lashback from the community. Like if we're talking specifically EA, obviously they have games like FIFA, Apex, Madden, Galaxy of Heroes, all of which they've made a shit ton of money from live service and where the player base is at least fairly happy, I would say, otherwise they wouldn't be playing the game. Outside of EA, we obviously have stuff like Fortnite, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, obviously completely different types of games, but games where live service is thriving and the player base is happy and the kind of game you can come back to every year or every 2 years and play new stuff. Something we do not have in the Star Wars community at all. And in EA's earnings call earlier this week, where they basically every quarter talk about how the company is doing and then take questions from investors, they finally got the question about live service, which means that the investors are starting to catch on too, which will hopefully pressure them a little bit more. Obviously, they've seen all the success I mentioned earlier, like FIFA, Apex, Madden, Galaxy of Heroes, which makes bank, but one of the investors specifically asked about live service Star Wars, saying, secondly, just on Star Wars, just kind of curious to learn more about the plan and the expectations as we look to see that extend in terms of the lifetime of the franchise, as well as live services. And the reason to why I was kind of excited to hear an investor ask about this is that we've basically not heard a word from EA in regards to live service Star Wars since they shut down Battlefront 2. They basically just dodged the question or not even touched the topic at all, and have always just been like, oh, we have Jedi Survivor, and so on, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but every time they're asked about Star Wars, they always direct over to that topic instead of actually tackling the multiplayer / live service question. And at first he responded asking if he meant in regards to Jedi Survivor or Star Wars as a whole, and he clarified that he meant Star Wars as a whole. And Andrew Wilson, the CEO, responded the following: yes, we don't have anything to announce today, but we have an incredible partnership with Disney and Lucas. We've had incredible success in that partnership across the Battlefront and Star Wars Jedi franchise, and absolutely with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Our teams are always thinking about what are new experiences that we might be able to create. And then again goes over to the Star Wars Jedi franchise and talks about how that's doing really well and that they want to see more of that, which is also another thing I wanted to mention that you've probably already seen and it's basically been confirmed. But yes, they're definitely going to be making a third game in that franchise, something they very much emphasized in this earnings call as well. But at the end, he goes back to the more generic live service question and says, we've had incredible success so far in that partnership, and to the extent that we can find new opportunities to execute against new experiences, including live services as part of that partnership, we will explore them. And I mean, it's an okay answer, but it's kind of the same as always. Oh, we've had such success with Battlefront and Star Wars Jedi, and by the way, we're doing more with Star Wars Jedi, and then no real substance behind it. So the way I see this is it's basically them just keeping the door open. It's as close as we'll ever get to them saying we're not gonna make a Battlefront 3, because they never say no to anything, they just dodge the question or try to steer it in a different direction. Something which I find to be quite annoying. And it's really strange how when all of these examples I brought up earlier, both within EA and outside of EA, being so incredibly successful when it comes to live service, and then separately seeing how Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Star Wars Fallen Order and Battlefront for that matter are huge successes in terms of interest and game sales, why not cash in on that? We all want to see a multiplayer Star Wars game. Again, it does not have to be a Battlefront 3. It could be an Overwatch-like game, but in the Star Wars universe, or it could be a Destiny-like game in the Star Wars universe. Hell, it could be something like Fortnite, but in the Star Wars universe. Just look how popular those Star Wars skins are in Fortnite. There's so many different types of games. You don't have to be locked in a Battlefront franchise knowing how high the expectations are on that, but it's just so weird that they went from doing multiplayer only to being like, alright, we're gonna do like 8 Star Wars single-player games. And again, that's not really on EA, that's more Disney, since EA only has Star Wars Jedi right now. Plus Respawn's shooter, which I know some of you will bring up as maybe that's a multiplayer shooter, but based on what they've said about the game so far and what their job listings have said, I feel like Respawn's Star Wars FPS game will just be another single-player game. Maybe like Republic Commando or something like that, which again will be fun, but it does not fill the void of a Star Wars live service game. That's the point I'm trying to bring. And even though this is not really progress, I am glad they were asked this question about live service in Star Wars, as it is a huge miss right now and definitely the biggest missing thing from the current projects being worked on by Star Wars. So it's really a question I would love to hear Lucasfilm Games or Disney be asked, since it definitely doesn't have to be EA creating that game, but now it's open to so many other great studios that I'm sure could put out something awesome. And before I wrap up the video, I wanted to share some exciting channel news, as I just extended my partnership with G Fuel, who, as you know, has been a fantastic supporter of the channel over many years now. And they're a big reason to why I can continue to do this, so I can't thank them enough. And I can't thank you guys enough for continuing to use code SHEEV when you pick up your G Fuel, as it's really a beneficial partnership. They see you guys buying G Fuel and using code SHEEV, and in return they want to support the channel, so it's really a win-win, and I can't thank you guys enough. If you still haven't tried G Fuel, they actually just lowered the price on their starter kits down to $12.99, which gives you a shaker and 7 flavors. Plus, you can actually use code SHEEV for another 20% off that, meaning that the serving price is gonna be really low. Plus, you get a shaker for free. So it's really the best way to try out G Fuel, and after that you'll figure out what your favorite flavors are. And yeah, if you're simply interested in a healthier, cheaper and better tasting energy alternative compared to traditional brands, consider checking it out. The link will be in the description below. And as always, don't forget to use code SHEEV. But yeah, in regards to Star Wars live service, I'm curious, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the topic? What are you hoping for? And what do you think EA's statement might mean? Are they finally learning what we want to see? Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.